Hi, my name is Alessandro Angelosi and that's a video tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for MaxCookie. This time we'll continue to work at the Photoreal interior with VRay tutorial series. In the past video we just prepared the basic stuff for the scene and this was the result. Today I like to finalize the pavement with a new texture, and then I like to start building the doors and the windows. So we'll go a little bit more in depth to finalize the project. So let's remove this one and let's start working on the wood shader we are using on the ground. Actually we are using this texture, but I like to use a new one with a different coloring. So let's go for this one. And let's say that this one is visible inside the viewport. Okay, it seems maybe we need a little bit less repetition. Let's go for 5 and 5. Maybe also less for 4. Okay, so let's use the same. So I copy this one and then we can put it there as a copy, and we do the same for the other one. And then we do the same there. But now I like to check the material. So let's start playing with the ground, and we see that we have no anti-alias actually, and really low quality for the rendering. And also there we can stay with this value. There we go a little bit lower. Okay, and I make a simple preview. So I'm rendering just this area. We have to play with the material because I like to have it a little bit darker. Let's remove the sRGB because that's the real color we'll have in the output. So we need maybe sorry, a little bit less reflectivity, just a little bit, but we'll control it using the material there. So actually we have 100% there reflection, and we go for something lower and back to the render viewport and just one area and render. Okay, you see it is a little bit less reflective, and maybe we can go also to have still less reflectivity. Let's say something like that. And if it is going fine, we can add the texture to have a better control. Okay, let's say that we like this kind of reflection. Close. And let's go there to have the map for the reflection. That's how it is working. Okay, and we say to have this one used at 45%. Let's see again how it looks. We should have some changes in the reflection, just some subtle changes you see there over the border of the main reflection. Okay, nice. Close. Then I like to control the glossiness, and let's control it before using just the map. Let's try with 707. And it seems not bad. Okay, now I like to change a little bit how it looks just using the map. The map, we have it there. Okay, let's check the map. You see that's really clear. And we go to have something like that. So we have some area that are using the map and some area that are not using the map. Okay, let's see with less 50, and again check the rendering. Now we should see some differences on some area of the wood with higher glossiness and some area with less glossiness, and you can see it there. Maybe we can make it a little bit brighter, because if this map will be brighter, we'll have more reflectivity, less glossiness on some area. We can see more in depth there if it works in the right way. And then if we like, we can have a little bit less reflection glossiness using also the parameter. But to be sure, I'd like to put an object over the ground just to be sure. Okay, let's say something like that and render. So you see it's really low, the amount, so we can have from one side a little bit more reflectivity, just a little bit. So let's go there and let's use there maybe 75 to have more reflection, and to have a little bit less glossiness we can go to have, for example, 0.8, and we can render again. And that's not bad, it seems nice. Maybe we can test it using an higher quality, and to have an higher quality we have to activate the anti-alias, and we need for sure an higher level of quality with more samples and the global subdivision multiplier higher, and it should be fine in this way. So back to the render. See that now we have less grain inside the scene. Okay, now I like also to tune up a little bit the bump map, because actually we are not using the bump map. We should need to fix a little bit the scene when we have also the window, because obviously we'll not have this kind of reflection later. Okay, so let's close and save. And let's remove this tippet. Nice. So we can start modeling the window, and we'll do something really simple. Let's go in the isolation to have just this object there. Then let's go to zoom to this one, and we can create something using the extended primitives. We can use a chamfer box, and we'll do something like that. Or maybe I'm thinking about to do something else. We can do directly using a 2D shape. So we do something like that. Then we convert using the right mouse button at the table spline. We select the spline and then outline, so we have the inner part of the window, something like that. Close, and then we can use the extrude, let's say 5 centimeters, just as beginning, and then we move it. Okay, there we can go to a perspective camera, and we can move this one mainly by hand. Okay, nice. We can obviously say that this one is 6 centimeters maybe. Okay, we can obviously change this one to first of all, let's use the generate mapping coordinates, then convert to editable poly, and I like to select all the edges and trying to have a little bit of chamfer, but something really subtle, so 0.25 can be enough, and say yes and close. Okay, nice. Let's add the glass, and to add the glass we can just creating a box that will stay inside, and this box can be moved. You see, obviously it's really big, and this one will be maybe, let's say 0.5 centimeters and stays there, or maybe can be more little, let's say 0.25. Okay, that's the window glass, window exterior. Okay, so we have the solder ready. Now I like just to create some meshes to create a different aspect for our window. So let's go there, and we can create, let's say from this point of view. Okay, the glass can be moved, and we move it, sorry, there, and then we can create a shape. Let's see what we have there. We have the end gone. Okay, something like that can be enough. Let's say that we have 0.15 to have a little bit of. Okay, so we use a shape like this one, but it will be more little, so let's say maybe 1 centimeters, and then we see if it is too much or not. Let's go to have an extrude. Okay, I think we can do this one a little bit more little, let's say 65. Then we can move it. It is inside, and that's nice. And we can scale it there. Okay. Then let's say that we have this one there. And we can just maybe using more copies, like for example one at a similar distance from the top, and then we can have one in the middle, for example. Okay, then we need something in the same way, so we can use the shift with the rotation. Let's make a copy, because we'll change the shape for this one, and we say that this one is higher. And then obviously we are not doing something so precise, but if needed you can do it. And let's say that the window has something like that. So back to the camera so we can see how it looks to have something like that. But to do something like that, we need first of all to assign a glass material. So glass window, it is a VRay material. It is a black material. We have freshening reflection for the moment with maximum reflection and a little bit of reflection glossiness. And we say that we have no link between the Fresnel IRL from reflection to the other for the refraction. And we say that there we have 1,4, and for the refraction we have 1,0,1, so we have not so much distortion, and we have a complete reflective. So we have the transparency. Affect shadows to have the right simulation of shadows coming from the window. So let's exit from isolation, back to the camera, save, and we try to make render. So let's say to the frame buffer to have no area, and then we try to make a render but with a lower scale, so let's say maybe 500, and render. And let's check. So that's how it is coming, and I like to make some changes. First of all, I like to have less ambient occlusion, so let's say maybe 0.5. Then in the shading, I like to have a little bit less refraction, let's say maybe 230, so the window will be a little bit less transparent. Then we need a white material for the window, so let's say white wood window. We see don't so much from near the wood, so we can just make a white material, but we have to choose the various piece to assign it. So that's right, and also the other one. Okay, nice. We go for a VRay material, and it will be white. And for the moment, we have just a freshener reflection with a little bit of reflectivity. Let's say 0.65 for the reflection glossiness. Nothing so special, so it's really simple. Back to the viewport for rendering there, and I like to see how it looks. Okay, nice. I think we can go for still less transparent there. Let's try to 180 and check again. I like to have a little bit of difference there. Let's go for something like that. I like to add some part of the window. We'll do something not so complex because I like to don't lose too much time doing modeling stuff, but I like to add something to close the window. So let's imagine that we have, let's close there, save, okay, then there, and let's go to have just this one in the isolation, nice. And let's do with let's go for an extended and samper, but first of all I like to see the proportion there, the scale, but we have no scale, so we can just make with a taper, and let's say that we cover from there to there. So let's say 118, maybe 119 to be sure. So we go to have something like that. Okay, and we say that this one is the in the middle, so let's say that we have maybe, let's say 58, and let's say maybe 4 centimeter, and the fillet is 0.25. So that's the piece we are modeling, and I go to move it there. So it will be really simple. We do something not so complex, but I like also to have some modeling over it. So we do something like let's say there, and let's say that the fillet is 0.25, and let's go at full screen there. Okay, something like that, and we do something like this one also lower, but we say that this one is 45, and let's say that the 8 is 70. So we'll put this one there and the other one there as a copy. Let's say it's 35. Okay, nice. And we pick this one and this one, and we move it to have it just a little bit over. So let's move it over the y-axis, sorry, over the x-axis, do something like that. Nice. Then I like to make a border, but we can model it later. So let's pick this one, and we go for a compound, pro boolean, start picking the first one and the second one. Nice. Okay, then now I like to add something, and to do something like that we can zoom it. You know, the model is really simple. I like to be sure that you that is okay that we are just doing something simple to have not so big modeling. Okay, and then move this one there with a copy, and we scale the 8, and we do something like that. Then pick both just to have in the middle, and then we can go to have, let's say, a rectangle with 0, 2 or 25. Okay, nice. So now we can pick this one. Let's give a loft. So compound loft, get shape, and we have the first one, and then this one, same thing, get shape, and we have the second one. Nice. So both to the stuff, and we can move it. Okay, I like to make some changes to both, so let's select the first one. Okay, let's go for a perspective and rotate it. Okay, so let's go in the shape, and I like to rotate it by 90 degrees over this axis. Okay, now I like to scale it to have just a little bit of a border there. Okay, nice. Same thing to the other. Let's go for the shape, rotate it by 90 degrees, and let's scale it just to have a similar border there. Okay, nice. So now I like to pick, let's close this one, and we say to make a new pro boolean. This time we are talking about onion, start picking, and that's the second one and the third one. So we have just one mesh, and I like to add a UVW map, and we go for a box. Okay, then we can go on the front and we move the pivot to make it rotating. We'll make it rotate over this axis there, and if we go to rotate, you see that that's the result. Then we can move it. Okay, and we can assign the same material we are using for the other stuff, and then there we make a mirror as an instance, and we move it. Okay, so we should be able to have the complete window, as you see, but we have a problem there about scaling, so we have to rotate it. Obviously it will be open just like that, and then this one and this one must be moved. Do something like that. Okay, and save. I like to see how it is working, so let's go in the renderer and let's render this area. Okay, let's change something more. So we go on this one and we rotate it a little bit. Still I like to have maybe let's remove for the moment the ambient occlusion, and then there let's try to have a different material for this one, and we can try to have a bitmap. Let's go in the various wood from 3ds Max. Sorry, let's see there over the wood, and we can use a wood just to give the idea. Okay, let's use this one. Let's go at full screen. Nice. Let's see 2 times over this axis and 2 times over this axis. Okay, and we say to use this map less, so let's say to use this one as 35 just to give a little bit of color. Then we use it as reflection map, so you see we have more reflectivity than before, but we have also need to have the bumping, but we have to remove a little bit of control over the blurriness. Back in the rendering there, and I like to check again how it looks to see if it is going in a better way than before. We have also to see if we have more visibility for the reflection over the wood we are using for the window. So let's wait to have also the other one, the other side. Okay, it's going a little bit better, but I like to see more the wood. So let's go for 70%, and we have the right force there for the bumping. And let's check the wall. That's the ceiling, that's the wall. Okay, nice. So I like to make some changes to the wall. Let's go for a more bright white, and this one too will be really similar to the other one. And let's make a simple test, and the ceiling too is white. Nice. And the second color should be a little bit more similar to the other one, and the scale is bigger. Nice. Save. Let's make a group with the stuff we modeled for the window. So we need to pick this one, then we have this one, there, and we need for sure also the glass window. Okay, so we have everything. We can make a group and we call it window 1. Nice. Let's make a copy, and we'll have the same problem. Oh, sorry. We had a problem with the group. So group, ungroup. Let's select again, and let's make a group. Window 1. Okay. Let's make a clone as a copy, because maybe we have to change something. And there we'll have the same problem, but there the viewport, the window is bigger, so we need to change the model. Okay, so group open, and this one, sorry, can be moved there and can be rotated to have a complete opening. The other one must be moved there and rotated to something like that. Talking about the window, we have to change it, so let's zoom it, and we have just to pick those vertices. And once in the view, we go there. Same thing for the others. Okay, nice. And then I think that we can go with a really simple movement there. So the glass should be, should be bigger to stay in the right side, and we'll have obviously to move that mesh, and there we can do it longer. And talking about this one, we can make another there, so we'll have some kind of no symmetry, and it will be interesting. Okay, and this group can be closed. One window can be copied, so copied using the shift key by 90 degrees as a copy, and we'll clone it to be used inside the other window there. So zoom, and let's go to move in the right position. Okay, nice. And then group open, and this one can be rotated, and also this one. Group close. Nice. Let's save, and we can make a preview for the entire render just to see how it is going. Okay, that's the actual result, and I like to see two things. The first one is what happens if we will use a different lighting. So let's go there, and let's say that VRay light is set to off, and we add also a daylight. A daylight will have a VRay sun there, and there will be no skylight. Let's say that we'll have an illumination at 8 or maybe 9, and let's see the rotation. Let's go for something like that. Let's see the same result. You see, with a different lighting coming from a direct sunlight simulated by VRay. Obviously, it is possible that we have to change the camera exposure because we have a lot of burning, I think. But it is not so much, maybe just a little bit. Okay, so close, and let's see to select the camera. Let's go to check the exposure, and let's go to have 150 for the speed ISO, and let's say there we have no anti-alias. Okay, we should have a better illumination now. Okay, actually another problem we have to solve is the high burning we have out there, but we'll solve it later. It's not a problem. So actually I like to play to have a door there, so we should model it. So let's save, and let's go to model a door. To model the door, we set to visible just this part of the scene, and there we need to create something. So we'll have a rectangle. I think that the door, to be sure, it seems there. Okay, so it's there. Let's see if it is right. Okay, so there we can model something, and we say to use, let's say, a box. We can convert to an editable spline, and we start to refine to add more vertices. Let's say there, 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 and there. And then we start to model some stuff. We need another refine there. I like to make a mesh, you see, with some detail, and let's go for refine. Also there I like to have the possibility to create something, and using curve to match. So let's go for corner, and then this area can be higher. So it is just a simple profile, nothing so complex. And let's pick this one and this one. Let's use the fillet to have a little bit of curve. Okay, nice. Let's change the pivot and we move it there. Okay, back to the other scale, and we select this the box we just created, the rectangle. We say to use the loft, get shape, and we use this one. Let's go to full screen. Okay, we have to move the shape. Let's go in a perspective and zoom to this object. Okay, and let's move it over this axis. Nice. Then we can move or maybe we can just using a different scale. Okay, so you see we have the right cursor. So back to the physical camera, and I made a mistake, so we have to erase this one. Back to this one, convert to editable spline. We need to remove the segment. Okay, and the vertices there should be moved to stay up there. Okay, close, and then we can go back to the loft, get shape, loft, get shape, this one. Nice. Now we can move the shape, and there, let's make a zoom, and we can move it to this area, and we have the right mesh there. Okay, nice. Closed. Let's say to apply the mapping, and let's say that actually we use 5 times during the length. I like to use the same white we are using for the other parts, so let's say that we use this one, that's the ceiling, and we use the ceiling also for this area, and then we have just to add a door, and the door actually can be really simple. So let's go in the isolation, and we make let's say an extended chamfer box, and let's use something like that. Okay, the chamfer will be 25, the door is 14 centimeters, it's not a problem actually, and this one will be something simple. So let's say that we have just a part visible, so we go just to have let's say maybe some rectangle like this one, and something similar but more little there, with really less high, let's say something like that. Okay, nice. And we need the shape, and let's say that we can create the shape. Let's start with an end gun, and we go for a 6th angle, a little bit circular. Okay, and let's go there. It is too big. Let's go for something like that. So then we pick this one, and we go for a compound object, loft, get shape, and the same, it is done using this one. So loft, get shape, and we pick this one. Nice. So then we need death meshes, and also this one. Let's move everything near, and we need two things. The first one is that this one will be more little, so let's say maybe 10 centimeters, and the other one is that these objects will stay in the front. And let's go to check. Okay, now we pick this one, pro boolean subtraction, start picking the first one and the second one, and you see that we have the door. Obviously it's really simple. We are not trying to achieve something complex, and we try to give the same material we are using for the window. Then we can move this one inside. We can move there the pivot. Let's check that we have the door in the right position. So the door stays a little bit inside. And then we rotate it. So actually it is something like that. Obviously, actually we have no more detail over the door, but we'll add it. And let's go in the render view, and I like to see how it looks there. Okay, you see that it is a little bit more complete than before. And then just to see, we can model just, for example, something to have over the wall, and we can, for example, create a center box. And let's go in the isolation. There we can go for perspective, and we say that we have 0.25, 5 centimeters for the moment. We have 0.25 for the fillet, and we have, let's say, 10 centimeters, 7 centimeters. Okay, nice. And we have to create something different, so we stay with this one just as proportion, and we say that this one is 3. Then we'll have to model something, and we go to have a chamfer box, and we model. Okay, nice. We say that this one has 0.25. It will stay in the middle over the other axis, and we have to use a clone on the other side. And we'll do it a little bit higher. Okay, and then we do the same using a copy by 90 degree, and just using a really again fast way to model the stuff. And let's say that we have something like that. It will be scaled. Okay. Okay. And then back to the others. A little bit of scaling. Okay, so then let's pick these objects. And let's say we can do something different, so we can go for something lower there, and we have then this piece attached on the ground. Okay, that's the white area. It can be more little, 1 centimeters, and it stay there. Okay, then let's make a clone, and it is moved, let's say with another color, and it is more little on the side and also on the other side. Okay, and over everything I like to have a glass. We can use the same, and it can stay there as a copy. This one will have no glasses, and we are talking about maybe 0.2. Okay, so this one can have the glass material, and there, let's call it dark wood, and we go for a VRay material, and we go for a dark brown. Obviously later we'll fix it and we make something different. And then let's pick this one and let's call it neutral white. It is obviously a VRay material with white, and it has a little bit of roughness and just a little bit of reflection for the moment, with a really heavy glossiness. Then we need something for the little one there, let's call it heart 1. Assign VRay material, and we need an image. For the moment we set just to have a simple image. Let's see if we have something there. For example, Okay, it is just for a purpose to make some tests, so it's not a problem. Let's select both. And group art 1. And it will be used just to make some testing, so it can stay in another position. Here we can go for a physical camera, and we can move this one there. Perspective, zoom. Okay, back to the camera, and we have this one just to make a test to see how the stuff can going. So save, and let's see in the preview, for example, how generally the room looks now. So let's go for a 900 just for the preview. So that's the actual work in progress setup. Now we have to add the details to the room, so we have to start working on the furniture and tweaking step by step the lighting to obtain the final result. So for the moment that's all, and I hope to see you back on Max Cookie to check for new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye.